G'day, I'm Guy Allen, and this gadget here is Honda's 1997 Blackbird. We're playing with it to see how they stack up as a second-hand buy. So, what's a Blackbird? Well, this was Honda's mid to late 90s attempt to be top dog in the sports touring stakes. So a very powerful motorcycle, 164 horsepower, nothing really radical in the engineering. Liquid cooled inline 4 valves per cylinder, no real surprises. But very, very well designed, a lot of attention to detail. So they managed to get 290 kilometres per hour out of it as a top speed. Not bad going. Of course, this was in 96, late 96 for the launch for a 97 model year. Suzuki came along 2 years later and spoiled the party with its 300 km per hour Hayabusa. Now, Blackbirds came out of 3 generations. This bike here is the first generation, that's running CV carburetors, and it went from 97 to 98 model years. 99 to 2000, they fuel injected it, which actually gave a much nicer, crisper power delivery. And then the following model, 2001 through to 2007, they actually went backwards a little bit really, because they put a catalytic converter in it, and it went from 164 to 152 horsepower, and it also ended up with a mixed digital analog dash. It didn't really matter. 152 horsepower is still not exactly what you'd call limp-wristed, and the bike, even in that version, was a quick piece of machinery. So what's to like about these things? Well, they're particularly well finished and well built. This is actually a real peak performance for Honda, and they last well in the market, which is why you see some fairly substantial prices on them. Now, there's quite a few in the market at the moment. You can get a very first version, this carburetor model, which I reckon one day will be collectible. You can get them if they're a high miler for as low as $3,000 or $4,000. Now those prices climb all the way to the low teens or even mid-teens for an exceptional late model. What do you look for? Well, with these bikes, servicing's everything. If they've been serviced according to the book or been looked after over their lives, they'll be just fine. They're a really robust design, and even 100,000 kilometres on them is a long, long way from being worn out. When it comes to riding them, they're actually one of the nicest sports tour rides on the road, even though they're getting a bit long in the tooth. They're exceptionally comfortable, a super, super smooth engine. In fact, they're a bit deceptive. You'll easily find yourself going a lot faster than you planned if you don't keep an eye on that speedo. But super smooth, light to tip in. They have disguised their 225 kilos quite well, and they hold a line really well. The only controversial feature on these things was a linked braking system. Some people love them, some don't. I'm not a huge fan of it, but having said that, I've owned 3 Blackbirds over the years. What it does is you've got a series of apportioning valves on the brakes, and it gives it a very nice squat under heavy braking under normal circumstances. They work really well. They're a bit more vexed though at low speed manoeuvring because you can't separate out the rear brake. Are they a good second-hand buy? I reckon they are. Even today, they're a very, very enjoyable ride. They're quick, they're comfortable, and very capable. They've got nothing to be embarrassed about. This is one of those bikes that's aged pretty well. Look for the full feature on the bike in Motorcycle Trader magazine.